Joining me now is Yoni Asher, whose wife and children were kidnapped on October 7th and held captive by Hamas in Gaza for 49 days. They were released in November during a hostage exchange deal with Hamas. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yoni, this has been a turbulent year, certainly for your family and for others who are still in this ordeal. First of all, I want to express the relief we felt at the safe return of your wife, Doron, and your children, Raz and Aviv, along with the other hostages who were returned and rescued later on. How have they been coping since their release?
Well, thank you. It's very much complicated. On one hand, they are very little, very young, and they are only 5.5 and 3.5 year old. And when they were abducted, they were 2.5 and 4.5 year old. So along this period of time, we had to cope with a lot of difficulties, with all the joy and with all the even the euphoria that was in the days after their return. Eventually, you need to put them to sleep at night. You need to get them back to their structures, and you need to make sure that they will grow up with much less trauma than they're supposed to be. And I want to mention that no one has any experience, professional experience, in this kind of matter. This is not something that this is unprecedented. So we have to follow our own instinct as parents.
That must be incredibly hard. How do you begin to rebuild a sense of normalcy after such a traumatic experience?
Like I mentioned, you need to follow your instinct. I can tell you that it is before October 7, they were sleeping the whole night. And today they are not. They are waking up every night in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's a nightmare, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. But for us as parents, is getting back to the period of time where we were waking up at night. But only now, it's with fears and with crying, and sometimes it can be quite difficult.
What was the most difficult part of those 49 days for you and your family, not knowing what was happening to them?
I think that the uncertainty is something that can torture a person, that can damage his personal health, physical and mental. The uncertainty, and I want to reflect by saying that on the rest of the families who is still waiting for their loved ones, the uncertainty can do so much damage. Me, for only 49 days, and I can tell you I had to deal with physical and mentally difficulties even after their return, maybe especially after their return. Because there is no possibility that such an event will be without repercussions and without any price to pay.
Absolutely. And like you say, while your family is now home and you get to try to heal and move forward, as difficult as that may be, there are still so many hostages left in Gaza. Some we sadly know are already dead, but many we presume are still alive. Do you remain in contact with the other families who are still waiting for their loved ones to return?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not only my personal pain. I know most of the families. I spent time with them, and I had many conversations with them. The amount of stories that I heard about, every family of hostages almost has people that got murdered on October 7th, and in the most horrific way. Mothers that lost their daughters and had to see them, and fathers and sisters. So I heard all these stories firsthand so many times, and so many different stories. I don't think it's even you can even bear something like that. So I still in contact with them today, and I feel their pain each and every moment.
With no new hostage deal in sight, just shortly, can you tell me what do you believe can or should be done to bring the remaining hostages home?
Um, you know, I am not a diplomatic or military expert, so I don't have the exact information to determine whether some kind of action, this or that, can affect. I think that Israel has the power to do so. I think that the world coalition, that it's obvious to me today that we share the same enemies. And I believe that the United States and the European Western countries uh, can leverage their power, can do more. I heard Chuck Schumer, and I heard many of the administration people in the U.S., and I want to believe that they are doing everything they can. Yet, I think this is something that it's very difficult to negotiate in front of a terror organization that even feel free to their leadership, feeling free to demand guarantees for their lives. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you, is someone is going to give me a guarantee for my family life? Because if Yahya Sinwar wants a guarantee for his life, well, I want to ask that also. And I think that they need to do everything they can to leverage their power. Also France, also Britain, also Germany, also the United States. They have the power, they have the pressure means. Everybody knows that. So do it. Don't wait any longer.
Yoni Asher, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.